even if there's a crack in the foundation, 9 times out of 10, if you could just direct the water away from the foundation, water won't come in.
That's it.
Right?
If water doesn't get to the wall, it won't go through it.
You're listening to the DORE Podcast, where we spotlight the people, ideas, and businesses keeping Ottawa running. From contractors to real estate investors, entrepreneurs to industry experts, we dive into real conversations and help grow everybody's pie.
Episode 7, DORE Property Management.
We're live.
Yes.
Hey, Mike, thanks for doing this. This is, I appreciate you taking the time to come and talk to us today a bit and let us know a bit of what you do, so people listening in can get an understanding of what it is, that you do and how important it is. So on that note, can you just give us a quick idea of what your role here is with us at DORE Property Management?
Well, I'm service manager, and basically I'm the first line of defense, or like when there's a call to establish what is the problem. Because sometimes, say, a leak could be 4 or 5 different sources. It could be roofing, foundation, appliance.
Yep.
So if the tenant are not sure, instead of sending different contractor, I go and assess and see what needs to be done and which vendor we should be sending.
Yeah, so typically, generally the ones that are a bit more problematic, because the easy ones usually the team can figure out on their own, but usually when you go, it's because we're not sure.
When it's
water
obvious,
coming in, we just don't know. Like you say, is it a roof leak? Is it a plumbing leak? What is it? Because the tenant
one time we had a foundation leak, but the water was coming under the washer.
That's right. Then you think it's a washer, but it's not.
You think it's a washer with the foundation behind. You have to.
That happens from time to time.
Go check things out.
So, and I mean, obviously, you perform a lot of the inspections for us on site, and but there's three different components to inspections, or 3 different buckets that we hit. One usually is the pre-move-in inspection before a new tenant moves in. The other one is typically when the tenant moves out. There's a post-move-out inspection. Yep. And then there's also an inspection that takes place on an annual basis or on a periodic basis. So we'll go through the differences. So when you go into, say, a pre-move-in inspection, tell us what is specific about that type of inspection.
Well, the first move-in is we want to see exactly and record video the condition of the unit at that time. And that protects the owner for when the people leave, it's in the same condition than it was. And it also protects the tenant.
Yeah.
That if there is a major scratch somewhere on the floor or somewhere, they're not responsible for it. It's noted in our first inspection, pictures and video. But the most important thing for me is to make sure that all smoke alarms are working, they're up to code and up to date.
Yeah.
That's the safety is the first, our main concern.
Yeah.
Then we'll gather information on all the components like furnace, water tank, are they electric or gas? Mm-hmm. And we take note and we take video of the utility room. So if there's a call in the middle of the night, we can look at our files and we know it's a gas furnace or it's an electric water. We have the information needed for proper diagnostic and proper contractor.
And we'll delve into the details. I'll prompt you on a few of those very specific details. We'll dive into a bit more. So essentially when we do the pre-move-in is really we're trying to establish condition, as you said. And obviously we want a positive experience for the tenant moving in. So obviously if there's any questions, concerns, or issues, or anything of concern that you point out,
if it needs
sure
cleaning,
it gets communicated. So we're trying to make sure that move-in is positive. So obviously in many cases you play a role in being the eyes and ears and making sure that move-in is going to be a positive one. So
make sure it's clean, when everything works.
So if we contrast that, say then, to a move-out, right? So a tenant moved out, so obviously, the inspection is somewhat similar, but what are we looking for? We're looking for after...
that's at the end of a tenancy. We want to make sure that no damage occurred during the tenancy. Yeah. And it's in the same condition. Yeah. But we usually have to do an extra cleaning and maybe fix the odd little things here and there.
Yeah, normal wear and tear. Yeah.
It's almost the same. We check the condition of the place, compare it to when they moved in.
Yeah. So, and then obviously when a tenant is residing in the property, at least once a year, you go on site. we go inspect. So what does that inspection look for? What do we look for
Well,
specifically?
most of the time is to make sure the smoke alarm are all working.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we'll check the condition of the place to make sure it's not abused or neglected, so it's kept clean and in good condition.
Yeah.
And if we see that it's not, then we make note of it, and then we go further depending on the gravity of
That's right.
what we see.
That's right. And if so, what's the protocol for us if we show up on site and smoke alarm's not working
Will we replace it?
right then and there?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one thing we don't mess
we don't-
with.
No, exactly. Safety
If it's
is
missing, we got to put one.
Yeah, we ask questions later, but we want to make sure that it's that it's safe and that the residents living in the property are protected. So obviously that's a priority. You make sure that everybody has their units in their vehicles, so it's not like you have to run anywhere. We typically stock those, so we want to make sure that
That's it.
we're efficient.
We want to make sure all alarm works, and we'll check the furnace filter
Yeah.
because that needs to be. And we check some maintenance.
And I know I'm asking
things.
you this off the cuff, but I know you have a checklist that you go through. But I'm just
Yeah,
just
we
for the
take
sake
our
of this
notes.
conversation, I know that you have a checklist, but just for the sake of a casual conversation, so not holding you to every detail.
Yeah. Well, we have a checklist. That
right.
way, we don't forget
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
We go through it.
Yeah. Because from when you do several during the day, you don't remember.
They all look alike. So I take a picture of the address before I go in.
Yeah.
Then I take a picture of each smoke alarm
Yeah.
as I go.
Yeah.
So when I do my report, I have everything to back it up.
That's right. That's right. No, that's good. And then when you get to a property, typically you get to a property like on the exterior. I mean, obviously, if it's condos, whichever, it's not the same. But whether it's a house or an apartment building, like what is it exactly that you look for, or that without going into we look at all these things, but what would be a flag to say, oh, we need to address this when you're looking at the exterior of a house?
Well, the first thing is safety.
Yeah.
If we see that the railing is falling off or something could be dangerous to someone, that's the first thing that will flag.
Yeah.
But sometimes we'll see the house would need maintenance, like the heat trough is ready to fall off or has fallen off.
Yeah.
Well, we will let the owner know so he can fix it so the damage doesn't get worse over time, so he can...
Yeah, because I think some of the
Fix it
stuff
right
that I've seen in your inspections before too is, say, like a dryer vent where the cover is broken because it's brittle over the years, or
there's lots
you're
of
looking
those.
at the roof and you see a few missing shingles and you're like, oh, make sure that those things are addressed.
And one thing that's common too, it's the heave trough, the downspout
Is missing.
extension is missing. So water is all pooling around the house.
Yeah.
And it will eventually find its way in.
Yeah, no, exactly. So trying to, and sometimes it's regrading the exterior, whichever. So
That's it. Make sure something's done to prevent further damage or future
I think
damage.
you told me many years ago, right? Even if there's a crack in a foundation, 9 times out of 10, if you could just direct the water away from the foundation, water won't come in.
That's it.
Right?
If water doesn't get to the wall,
See, I
it
listen
won't
when
go
you
through
talk.
it.
That's good. And then, so you get inside the unit. I mean, obviously, I'm assuming you're checking the keys because you got to go in. And just give me a quick, like, what would be a flag for you to say, oh, okay, there's an issue here. Again, I think safety is one thing that is.
We want to make sure we have enough keys for a spare one for us and a few for the tenant. Like we have the proper amount and that garage door opener works, and but for the key, we'll check if there's a remote control for fans and things like that. That's basically it as far as the key is concerned.
Yeah, and then when obviously if the entrance was damaged or it's scuffed up or it was sometimes it's holes in the walls, the door is smacks and then it's maybe missing the door.
That's part of our move-in inspection. We video as we walk in the hallway and everything. So if it needs painting, we'll mark it. We'll note it. If there's major damage, of course, we write it down too. We take a picture.
And then you hit the kitchen. So kitchen obviously typically has 2 or 3 appliances. So what would you check generally for the appliance? I know we don't go in and start doing dishes and cooking our meals, but I mean typically what I know visually, like if you look at a refrigerator, what are you?
Well, we'll check if if there's major crack or if it's broken, if all the buttons are there.
That's right.
And now what we do is we take a picture of the serial number on the appliance. So if we need some repair done at one point, we know exactly what kind of machine's there. We have the information. We have the serial
you don't have to
number.
go back on site and figure it out. Yeah.
So it saves a lot of time in diagnosticating the
Being
issue.
in business for over 20 some odd years, we learned a few things.
Yeah, that's
We
it.
get a bit smarter.
Yes.
Investing in Ottawa real estate? DORE Property Management has 20 plus years of proven results. Call 613-227-0000 or visit dorerentals.com.
And then dishwasher, obviously, you open up is usually what you look for, for cleanliness, or if the rack is
It's fairly
broken or
simple.
spring,
Yes, a lot of
the
sometimes people they don't. It's not fastened to the. door.
right.
If it's moving around, well,
It's not fastened
fix it,
to the
because
countertop.
eventually there'll be a leak if it's moving around.
Yeah.
So we make sure it's stable, it's in place, and that it works fine. The tray pulls in and out properly,
And sometimes I've seen the doors where the spring is broken, it's small. So
Yes.
it's just replacing that, because obviously you get that happening a few times and it breaks fairly easily. So
same thing with the fridge. All the crispers are they all in one piece?
yeah. And the stove, typically, I know stoves obviously are typical for cleanliness, so we'd want to check what exactly. So on the top, we check, make sure that nothing's broken, elements are there.
We'll check, make sure they work.
Yeah.
And then that's pretty well what we can do.
A lot of
So
times
make sure
cleanliness, I think, with the stove.
cleanliness, yes,
Yeah,
if it works properly.
Yeah. And then if we hit the laundry, so washer obviously is if it works, it works. But when it comes to the dryer, I think there's on the checklist, we check the lid filter, and you put the sticker. You guys put the sticker on to make sure, remind the resident to.
Yes, we put sticker to remind people to take the lint out, because they build up.
Yeah.
And we check if the pipe at the back is the vent is properly hooked up to it.
Yeah.
And the washer too. Make sure the drain line is properly bolted, because that was the odd leak in the basement. Yeah, well, the pipe just fell off.
That's right.
So we check, make sure it's solid.
That's right.
And
and I think I believe we with the front loading units now too, we put a sticker to make sure that ideally they leave the door a bit open so it doesn't accumulate. I think some of the new units don't have to do that anymore, but some of the front load washers, if you kept the door closed, you'd get mold build up.
Yeah, we leave the door open because there's always a little bit of water in there.
Yeah, on the front load washer. So.
It will smell if you leave it closed. So we leave it open so it dries up a bit, and air can go in and out. And
to try to minimize that. So if we hit the bathrooms typically, so again, obviously. I know, again, I'm pitching this off because I know you guys have a checklist, but like, what would be cause of concerns usually when you're in a bathroom that you're like, these are common things that you see that need to be addressed?
We check that, make sure that the toilet is stable. It's not moving on a wall, because that would be a broken seal or broken flange, and that could be a bad leak coming soon. Yeah. So make sure it's stable. Then we flush, make sure it works. If it keeps leaking inside, then we need to repair it. And we check for signs of past leak, around the tub, around the toilet and sink, and the caulking around the tub. Make sure water don't seep in the walls. And
or if there's a drip, there's a seal maybe that needs, you shut the water, but it keeps dripping, and sometimes those seals need to be replaced.
Yes, basically, it's just make sure all component works the way they should.
Yeah. Yeah, and if ever there's an issue, obviously it gets reported, and we address it.
And if there's repair to be made, then of course we get them done.
Yeah, and then hitting bedrooms. I mean, obviously, I think bedrooms are a lot simpler because there's no mechanical attached to it.
Bedroom is simply we check the
Because obviously, when you're getting upstairs, if there's a ceiling leak or whichever, obviously that would be usually noticeable.
We check the ceiling, but we check like the bifold door, make sure they work. The window crank works. the way the carpet is.
Yeah,
You
make
know,
sure
if
it's
it's
in
stains or whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. Again, and that would be on the video when you're moving in, and you get a sense of what.
Yeah,
that is.
everything
or on
is
the move
recorded.
out. Obviously, you'd
Yeah.
be able to see. Oh, that wasn't like that when they moved in. And
We
obviously it
film,
could be a
we
concern.
video,
Yeah.
and then if there's major stain, then we'll take photo of that particular part.
Yeah,
We check the condition of the.
that's right. And then,
Basically.
and if there was a leak, obviously, then those are major concerns. But then we take it from there. So
Yeah, we had some. We check the ceiling. You know, if there's,
it happens.
they'll give us if they see if the roof is leaking or if the bathroom's upstairs.
Yeah.
There's a leak, then we know we have to look into it.
Right.
Find out if it's just a past leak or if
Yeah.
it's wet at the time. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I guess you've got your humidity meter, right? So you go in, you can check the humidity, I believe.
I have a humidity meter and
Yeah.
I have a infrared camera also. And
Right.
when special case there, we can.
Yeah, so you get, like you say, so if it's an older leak, then it's not as concerning usually. It is concerning, but maybe not. But if it's still damp, then you know chances are this is an active issue.
Yeah, if it's below a bathroom, it could be just the toilet that ran over once or
Yeah.
the kid that spilled the tub over. So we're
Yeah.
not going to make a big fuss, but we want to make sure it's dry.
Yeah,
If it's wet,
yeah,
then we'll mark the size of the leak
yeah,
and we'll monitor it.
yeah,
So if it gets bigger but if it's wet, we'll check it out right away.
yeah. Fair enough.
But we'll monitor it, make sure it stays dry and it doesn't get bigger.
No, that's fair. Then we hit the HVAC. So obviously, most units will have some, whether it's electric or forced air, whichever. So generally, when you hit the furnace, I mean, obviously these are inspected at every interval. But you look at a furnace, like what typically would you look for? I mean, obviously we're not licensed technicians, but just as an overall.
Well, we'll make sure the furnace filter
Yep.
is clean.
Yep.
That's for one thing. And having been a home inspector, I'll take a peek at the venting, make
Yeah.
sure it's all free to go, it's all free,
Yeah.
it vents properly.
Yeah.
We look at the condition and where it's situated in the house in case we have to go for a service call later.
Yeah, because I think like you mentioned earlier, also you take pictures of the type of furnace, serial number, also. So
Yeah,
the team
especially
knows
if
here.
there's a tag on the furnace
Yeah.
that a particular contractor installed that furnace there.
That's right.
Well, we'll take a picture of that so the service department has the information to send the proper contractor, the guy that installed it probably, or if it's
Yeah.
a rental,
Yeah.
especially like water tank there,
Yeah.
rental. So we'll make sure we know it's a rental. We call the rental company
That's right.
as opposed to.
And when it comes to the furnace filter, like how does somebody know the size? Like how do you determine the size?
Well, the size, it's written on the filter itself.
Perfect. Yeah.
It's not written on the furnace, unfortunately. It
That's
should.
right. Yeah, it really should. Yeah, you're right.
But no, we pull it out and it's usually written somewhere on it.
Yeah.
Then we replace it with
Yeah.
the right one.
And how, so a resident living in the property, how would they know that? They would have to look at it, or do we note it somewhere else?
Well, tenants have to change them, replace them every 3 months or so.
Yeah.
Me, when I check, I go, if they're real dirty, then we'll
Yeah.
put another one in.
Yeah. That's
Or
courtesy.
if it's in a mid-annual inspection, I'll tell the tenant, you got to change
Yeah.
soon,
Yeah.
Remind them it has to be changed once in a while.
Yeah. And and I believe also that there's a sticker that goes on to the shutoff, the emergency shutoff for furnaces, because obviously some of the common calls that we would get is somebody say my furnace, my AC is not working, and then you realize you go in and the main shutoff is just off. So I believe you guys put stickers on it that say
Yes.
it's the main shutoff, do not shut.
Yeah, we
And,
have sticker for the furnace switch, for the outside valve, shut-off valve, the main
Yeah.
shut-off valve, the dryer, the
Yeah.
furnace
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
let people know where they are, so
That's
it's
right.
easier to find if they have to need access.
Yeah, if they need to shut it off, they have an issue, they smell gas, whatever, then they can just shut it off. But at least they know not to shut it off by mistake.
Yeah. Well, usually they're higher on the wall.
I know, but still.
So, but
we
sometimes
got
it's
caught a few times with that. right?
renovation has been done and it
Yeah.
wind up a different place.
Selling a commercial property? At DORE, we know how to attract the right buyers, price strategically, and help you get over the finish line and close. Let us market your asset the right way and help you get the returns you deserve. Visit us at DOREMultiresidential.com.
And on the topic of plumbing, obviously, a part of the inspections, I know this is part of the pre-move-in inspection, but there's generally a main shutoff in the property somewhere. And so how does that?
Oh,
what
for
do
the
you do
main
with it?
water?
The main
Yes.
water, yeah.
Yes, we ask people, make sure this is visible at all time
Yeah.
and it's free so you can have access to it. Because
Yeah.
if water starts shooting somewhere, they don't know what to do.
Yeah,
If they shut the main water valve, at least
it mitigates it.
it stopped the leak there.
Yeah.
Then you can
Try to address the issue.
find out where the leak
And you guys
is.
tag that too, right? You put
Yes,
a tag on,
yes,
so it's
we have a tag
clearly
on.
identifiable where that is.
Yes.
And so that at least somebody comes in, like you say, if there's a leak somewhere, the go-to is just shut the main, and we can figure out the details after, right?
That's it.
Yeah. And then when it comes to, say, exterior taps, right? So some properties will have a tap for the backyard or so on, and obviously during the winter season those need to be shut off and drained. So I believe you also part of the inspection, the initial inspection. There's that if those are there, what do you do with it?
Yeah, well, we have sticker on them, but if a unit is empty, we'll shut these valves. These valves should be shut off every winter.
Yeah.
And also the hose should be removed,
That's right.
because if the hose is hooked up to the valve outside, then that valve is redundant because water stays in it. So
That's right.
people have to remove the hose, drain that line, and close the one inside.
Yeah.
But a lot of homes don't have shut off valve inside, so older home didn't have them.
So what happens if somebody doesn't shut it off?
Well,
What could happen?
It could freeze. Like those frost-free valves, they're
Yeah.
supposed
Yeah.
to be frost-free,
But
but
if it freezes, what's the good or the bad about that? What happens?
well, if they freeze, they'll crack. You will never know. It's next spring sometime when they use the hose,
Yeah.
then it's leaking.
Yeah, that's right. So it busts it because the ice expands. Busts
That's
busts
it. It busts the pipe.
Puts a hole. You don't realize it, and it starts thawing, and next thing you know, you got a leak in the house.
And
you
it's
don't
funny
know.
because there's a shaft inside the valve and the rubber is inside. So
Yeah.
if it busts there,
Yeah.
it's only when you use it that they'll find out that it's
That's
leaking.
right. That's right.
And
that's
that's next spring when they
That's right.
wash the car or
yeah.
water the
Next
lawn.
thing you know, they're washing the car and they're washing the basement at the same time.
There's water in the basement.
Yeah.
So if there's a leak in the basement,
That's not a good thing.
at that time you have an idea where it's coming from.
Yeah, no, that's good. And obviously, and you've touched it already on a few cases, but here at DORE, we prioritize safety, and nothing is, the basic safety relies around, making sure the residents are safe, whether it's railings or so on, but even more so with smoke alarms, carbon monoxide detectors, and so on and so forth. So when we go in, and I know this already, but every inspection that you would do, whether it's pre-move in, move out, or periodic inspection, those are always getting checked. So what would make, say, a smoke alarm need to be replaced?
If it's not up to code,
So give me an idea of what it would mean not to be up to code.
well, if it's supposed to be a CO detector
Yep.
and it's not,
Yep.
or if it's supposed to be hardwired
Yep.
and they only put a battery one there.
So what you're telling me is if a house has the wiring for smoke alarm, and then you inspect it and you realize that the new unit that was installed is only battery and not a hardwired version,
we have to replace
we
it.
have to replace it. Yep.
That's it. Or if they're expired, of course, then
That's right.
they have to go.
And how long are they good for usually?
10 years.
It's 10 years.
10 years. It's usually written on it. Mind you, lots of them, they go out after 8 years, they start beeping. We have to replace them.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But
So if you show
they're
up at a
supposed to be.
property, and obviously you test them, if it's not working and the battery's been replaced, we have to replace it. Regardless if it's within 10 years, obviously it has to be functional.
It has to work properly
Yeah.
and be up to code,
Yeah.
up to date.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we replace them.
Yeah, and and what we learned from the fire department as well is the fact, as you just alluded to, is the fact that we can't downgrade the fire safety equipment. Meaning that if a house in today's market was built where there was smoke, CO, and strobe lights in each and every bedroom, then if one's defective, you can't decide not to replace it. It has to be replaced with the same equipment. But if a house is 20 years old and it has just one smoke and CO detector where the bedrooms are, and that's defective, we replace and so on. But you don't necessarily have to put them in bedrooms because at the time the house was built, that was not necessary.
No, there's a lot of older homes, they didn't have them.
That's
so
right.
now they only have battery one, and
Yeah.
it's okay. As long
Yeah.
as it works and it's
Yeah.
up to date,
Yeah.
up to code,
Yeah,
there's no problem with the battery one.
yeah,
But if it was a hardwire one there,
yeah.
you have to put another hardwire one.
Yeah.
You can't downgrade to a battery one.
That's right. Yeah, you want to make sure that they're up. And this is at the time of this video. That's what we know. The code may change in the next few months or next year, whichever, where this video would become obsolete. But just for the purposes
Yeah.
of how we operate now, what we're being told, it's
The one thing we have to do that's retroactive is CO detector.
right.
Even if there was no CO detector
Right.
upstairs, when they built the house 50 years ago, now they need one.
That's right.
If there's a burning,
Yeah,
gas burning appliance,
oil, any combustible, I think.
you need a CO detector on the floor where bedrooms are.
That's right. Exactly. So, and it better be safe. You're always better off to have more than less, right?
You can't have too many of them, you know.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, we obviously, and we try to make sure we have all that inventory available. So if one is defective, you're not running around. You have that. So obviously, we
Yes, I
prioritize
carry cases of them in the truck.
Yeah, yeah. And when you need them, they're there, right? So,
Yes.
So, Mike, thank you for taking this time. Is there anything else, perhaps, that we didn't touch? I know we could go on and on there, but yeah,
There's so many little details, that we didn't touch, but that's part of, we have it on our checklist,
That's
we
right.
check, make sure everything is, and
yeah.
so we catch all the basic.
No, that's
Make
good.
sure everything
and I
is
think,
in order.
we're human. We're not perfect, but we're pretty close to it.
Yeah, we're trying.
Sounds good. Hey, Mike, thanks for doing this.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the DORE Podcast. If you're an entrepreneur or investor focused on real estate in Ottawa, we want to hear from you. Apply to be a guest and check out our video content anytime on YouTube.